Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian report for the 24th of April, and starting with the ASX on the daily chart. From wave 4 here, intermediate wave 4, we're looking for 5 waves up of minor degree, so wave 1 and 2 here, and then wave 3 and 4 and 5. Now we were talking about, just while we're here, we were talking about this wave 3 here being on here as a possibility, and we were looking for an A and a B and a C here because we were looking for that on the US markets. But as I mentioned before, perhaps, is that having this situation here is that this wave 5 here was rather small compared to wave 1 here. So we had this labelled in two different ways here. We've had it labelled as wave 3 on the top there. We've also had it labelled as a little wave 1 and back for wave 2, which is the right move. And then we're looking for wave 3 to the upside here, and wave 4 and wave 5 heading a little bit higher here. So let's just go in and have a look at this little area through here. So on the 4-hour chart, so as I mentioned, we were looking at this being wave 3 here, wave 4 here, and possibly wave 5 to make this wave 3 top here. And then we were looking at this as possibly an A wave here, a B wave coming back up, and a C wave coming down, but that wasn't the case. So in this instance, we need to look at this as wave 1, so we can move this here to further up there. Now, what we can do here is that, well, to start with, one thing that I'm not quite sure about is that because this move down through here looks impulsive here, like 5 waves, then we'd need to look at this as an A wave, a B wave, or an A and a B and a C here for B wave and down for C. So wave 2 being here. But I'm not sure, it could also be here as well, and in some, I've seen it before where we just have that 5 wave move here and that's it. So I'm not sure which one we put this on here, which makes a little bit of a difference because, well, and this doesn't look like it as well, but this counts as 5 waves up here. It does count quite nicely as 5, so we could look at it as wave 1 here. Just get this in here. So we could have this like this. It's something that we're going to have to work out along the way. So if we've got more of this here. So I'll just grab these across here as well while I'm here. That'll come in handy. So I don't know if we've got wave 1 here and ABC for wave 2 here. So that's quite possible. The other point is that from this low here, this little move up here, it doesn't count, doesn't look like it here, but on the cash market it counts very nicely as 5 waves. So it's also possible to have wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and now this is actually sitting here, and then this is going up for the 3rd wave here. So if I can just clean this up a little bit, we'll have a look at this in more detail, but just want to get the sort of the outside picture sort of done up here. So, and in this case here, we can see, I wouldn't worry too much about this spike here. It didn't make that new high on the cash market. So we'd look at this as wave 1 and 2 here. So from here, we can look at this as wave 1 and back for wave 2 here. And this would be wave 3 up here, coming into this space, and then there'll be wave 4 and wave 5 here. So we could realistically expect some type of corrective pattern across the 6,400 here. Because we'd also want there's different ways of getting extensions, but just in a nutshell here, to get the first one from this wave down to this wave here, the 1618 would be in this area. So if we gravitate over to the closest largest number, that's where we would be looking at that point there. There's different ways to get that there as well. But yeah, so this is counting this one as the low or this one as the low is the little bit of the problem here with this coming into this space here. So we're looking something like this here. So as I mentioned before, we've talked about the banking sector and the resources kind of changing over a little bit now. So if I have a look at the finance sector, so this is the XXJ, the banking sector, and a lot of the banks don't really have this clear count. CBA does, in terms of, we look at this move down through here is actually in 3 waves here, so we know that it's corrective. It doesn't matter though, because it's corrective, still could be an A wave here, and then an ABC for a B wave up here, and we could, so that means we could have some sort of, a 5-wave sequence here in terms of wave 1 here. So an A wave here, a B wave up here, and then down for 1 here, back for 2 here, and then there's 5 waves in this little sequence here. So this can be down for 1 here, an A and a B and a C, back for wave 2, and then wave 3, 4, 5 here. So a bigger impulse wave here. Once this market finds support on 7,000 though here, then we'll know that it will confirm itself as being bullish at that point. Okay, because just above the 7,000 is the 61.8% mark. So getting support on top of 7 here would turn that bullish, and then would also make a new high above this one here. Right, so in that case it would be bullish. So in terms of bullish, I'd have a count like this here, where we have wave 3, an A and a B and a C for wave 4, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, an A and a B and a C wave, because we've got 5 waves here. As I mentioned, this is the 7,000 here, this is the 50-60% retracement level. So if we if this becomes a support here, then it will be then this is going to move much higher at that point. It could even extend up to 10,000. So this is why we've started to go long in a couple of the banks here. So I don't know if we're going to get past this point here, the 7,000, but that's what we'll be looking for. So this will obviously be good for your longer term trades, and also too, if this is going to be the case and we're going to move higher here for this, then if you've got in your portfolio, you've got resources in there, well, they're going to be some of them, well, I'll have to sort through them, which ones are which, but probably Rio and those sorts of mining ones will be on the turn to the downside at that point. So anyway, I just think that's interesting there. So so getting back to this market here, let's go into the hourly chart. So basically what we're looking at here now is we're looking at from blue wave 4 here to blue wave 5, that will take us up into the 6,500. Okay, within that we're looking for 5 waves of wave 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here above that, and that will give us wave, already got wave 3 there, so I don't need this one here. So that will give us this, whoops, doesn't matter. So from wave 2 here to wave 3, the only problem that I have, I don't know if we count this one as the low or we count this one as the low. That will affect the count here. But if I have it as this is the low here, then this is wave 1 and 2 here, then we can see that this one's really starting to act strongly here as a third of a third wave, so wave 3 of wave 3 here. So it's doing all the right things here. So being at 63.50, we can expect a bit of vibration here, but after that's completed, we should see a move up to 6.4, where we'll see a larger vibration and profit taking coming on here. But the trend will still be in powerful mode here. And we can start to look towards stocks like Amazon, or we can even look at our resource sector as well, the APTs and APXs and so on. They will be moving quite strongly, so we'll probably move into those as well at this point. So on the 1 hour chart here, In this case here, we've got wave 4 here, so I've got wave 1 and 2 here. So like I said, I'm not sure which one we can put this onto here. So in this case here, we'll need to track both counts. So in this case, we can look at wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2 here. And then we need to look at this as all as wave 3 here. I could put wave 3 on this spike here, but this wave 3, this spike here, it occurred on the cash market, but didn't make a new high here. So I'm just going to leave it there for the time being. But it still leaves us with this here of wave 1 here, ABC for 2 here, and then we're moving up into this section here. So we can, the 6,350 here, the midpoint, we can expect that a small vibration to occur here, but we should push up and have a little larger one within group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80 is a 3-4, and then up for wave 5 at 6-4 here, and then we'll see a larger corrective move occur here. So we'll see some little vibration here, shouldn't be too much, a larger one within this space here, then into here, then something like this here, and then up into wave 5 at that point there. So I don't think that the tick chart can tell us much more here, but we can certainly go in and have a bit of a look. Okay, so yeah, so on this spike here, I've put it here as wave. I've counted it all sort of correctly here in that, including the spike here. It doesn't make any difference. It still leaves us with wave 4 here or wave 2. So wave 1 here or wave 2 here, something that I need to work out. I'll be able to work it out once I see a bit more structure here, but 1 and 2. And in this space here, we've got put that in there. I'm not sure about that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So that will be third wave here, fourth wave here, fifth wave somewhere in this space here. I'd have to pull that apart there to figure that out. But anyway, if you're long, you can just keep the stops just under the 63.20 area here, and then that will keep you safe because that wave 4 here shouldn't be breached. So 63.16 if you're long, and just allow this to play out. And well, we could be looking right up at 6.5, so it's quite a way up here at this medium level at this stage. So yeah, if you want to go for the ride, then you know, keep out of the way at that point. If you're looking to get in, however, let's just have a bit of a look at that. Let's just look at this. Well, just to get in here really, and like I said, just keep this under here at 16. So 63.16 in here. So it's a very wide situation here, but you're probably already in. Yeah, let's just allow that to play out. I mean, if you're getting in here, it would be advisable to take part profit if you're in at this late stage here, then to take part profit at that 64 there, and then we'll try and get back in there because we don't want to turn that into a loss at that point. We'll get out here and we'll get back in over here, pick up a few points. Okay, let's have a look at India. Okay, for India, the last time we sort of spoke about this before Easter was that we were looking at this leg here, moving up, and we went long here. We moved the stop up and we took profit here, and we were just waiting for it to play out. Obviously, we got another little high in here, so I'll just need to adjust that here. And then we're looking at this particular move down. So let's just have a look at our daily chart here to look at this. So we have to remember here that we've got two counts here, but now that we've just tipped this top out here, then we don't need to keep that bearish count anymore, so we can gather all these guys up here and we can just stay with our main count now. So that's good news. So even though I was right with the count earlier on with all of this, we still did the right thing. We tracked both counts and we played both counts out well, and we got some nice trades out of all of this. So this here now, I mean, this, I don't know if this is the right count, but it's the best fit that I could find. It's quite sort of unusual to have, well, wave 1 and wave 2 being sharp here. That's fine. Nice sharp wave here. Realistically here, though, this wave 1 could actually go well into this space here as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave, but it's very rarely that you'd even, it's not even in the textbooks to have an expanded flat correction within wave 1 and 2. I've seen it before, especially in Forex. So there's a real problem with this. There's also been a problem with this too. I mean, wave 1 here is fine. All of this being a really complicated correction here for wave 2 is really, you don't see that very often as well, but if that's going, normally we would say that wave 2 would be the simple correction and then wave 4 would be the complicated correction. But this is where we need to be careful, because if this is correct, if I've got this right here, then this is the complicated one, and then this one here is going to be simple, this correction. But how simple is it going to be is the next question here. So if we take the low of wave 2 here to the top of wave 3 here, then the 38.2% retracement level is in this space here. So what we can do in this area here, we can look at this low here and this here. We can remove that now. And then the question is how complicated is this correction going to be here with this? And also too, if this is the length of wave 1 here, then that also can be put in over here as well. So we'll use that just as a guide stick at the moment. It may go higher. Another way to look at this length here is getting 61.8% of the length of this wave 3 here and putting it over here. But we'll get to that in a moment. We were looking for the market to turn at 11.8, so we don't need that one there anymore, and we'll put that up to 12 here for the time being. We'll bring that out of the way. So the question, how simple is this wave 4 going to be? That's the question. Well, we could say at this stage that I can see that the market, we could see on that hourly chart, this is only down in 3 waves so far. So it's either likely to we just need, it's a little bit small compared to the length of this here. Do you know what I mean? The ratios are not quite there. So it's not quite there yet. Not down here enough. So we should be seeing it come down a bit further. It's how it's going to come down. I don't know, so far it's 1, 2, 3 here. I don't know if we're going to get 4 here and then 5 here. And then if we're going to get 5 here, then we'll get an A and a B and a C back up. And then we'll get another 5 down here. So it'll be something like that. It'll be an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here for that. It's just, I just don't think it's down enough yet. We don't normally use indicators, but let's just have a look at the stochastics, because it used to be my favorite. Well, it probably still is really, I just don't use it. Well, we can see here that it still needs to be pulled down further here. So we don't have a buying opportunity in here yet. So we could get trapped within that. I'll just save that. I'll go back to the hourly chart here for a moment and just look at this here. Well, we might have 5. I mean, obviously we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 down here, and then we've got some sort of ABC pulling back up to supply level. So we do have waves 1 and 2. So let's just, we don't need those, we can just move them. need a little ABC here. For this. Okay, we've got some over here. Oops. So this will be our basic pathway here, coming down to this wave 4 here, such. So if that wave 5 is in play here, as such here, if that's how tight it's going to be, then we'll be looking for a move back up to into this space here. So that should come back up, and this number here is really important, obviously, because it's the halfway between 5 and 8. Okay, 65 number I call it. So that will be there. That could be there. That could be there. I think that's wave 4 in there. It's very small, but it does do the job. So I will just leave it there. So what we could look for here would be the A wave. That's not finished yet, that A wave. So that will have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up to here. Then some sort of ABC pattern here, and then another move up here. This length of the A wave here will have some sort of relationship over here. This 11,720 will be an important level here. It's a 72 number. Put that there. That's going to be super important. If I've got this wrong here, and this is just an A and a B and a C wave down here for this, and this is a low here, then if you were going to go long here, I won't, but if you were, then you would need this number as support here, okay? So you could go long on top of that support there. Unfortunately, I won't go long until this has got support here, until I can recognize what's going on really with all of this. So I don't need that. Don't need that now. Don't need that. So I'll just leave that at that point there, and then we should see a move back down here. But the rest of the world will be traveling to the upside. So I don't know what's going to be dragging this market to the downside. So I don't know India's stocks very well. So I'll leave that one to you to work out. Alrighty. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.